Please like, share, and subscribe. Hello all of my YouTube friends. Today in this video I would like to talk a little bit about Andromeda. That came out in the early 2000s. Before all the streaming giants, before all of that, there used to be this thing called television which I would watch sci-fi shows on. And one of those shows was Andromeda. When I first saw the show, I was really attracted to it, mainly because I liked the design of the ship. The Andromeda was sleek, it was sexy, it was very a new design that we weren't used to seeing in sci-fi shows. But quickly after watching a couple of episodes, I kind of saw the problems with this show. It had a great premise, coming out of stasis 300 years later and discovering that the Commonwealth or the Federation no longer exists. What a noble and novel idea, trying to rebuild it from scratch. Like this would have been like the birth of the Federation. But like I said early on, I kind of, found these problems with this show. And sorry to say that Kevin Sorbo, Captain Dylan, was one of the main factors. I grew up on Captain Kirk's Star Trek, the original series, and even to a certain extent later on during my teenage years, Captain Picard was really a good role model. Whereas Captain Dylan, to me, Kevin Sorbo felt more like a soap opera actor, where he didn't really have the range, the charisma. He was mostly a handsome man put on screen to attract the female audience. And unfortunately, he didn't have a really good script to work with either. I don't know if the script writers were not giving him lines because they knew he could not deliver the emotion. Both sides of the coin couldn't work together here. I'm watching the show and I'm not feeling it. Also, their costumes kind of didn't fit them and were out of place. Another character I had issues with was Harper. Obviously, he was there to be the comedy relief in the show. It just felt unnatural, and he was just like pushing one liners after one liners after one liners, and it didn't come through as funny. It felt forced. Now, to the rest of the cast, they did a really, I think they were a lot better than those two actors. But the main issue, apart from the captain not being able to have a good script, a good story, was the overall story. They wanted to rebuild the Commonwealth, which basically took them 2 seasons to do. The series lasted longer than their initial mission to rebuild the Commonwealth. So once the Commonwealth is achieved, what is the reason for the show? I discovered later on that the showrunner left the show, so before leaving, he wanted to complete his storytelling. So that explains a lot. Another thing that would explain a lot of the show is the budget. Even though some of the computer generated graphics were ahead of its time, some of the special effects, the costumes, the decors, really felt like they came out of the 70s. So, coupled with the bad storytelling, the bad acting, I really think that this was one of the worst shows at the time. And I stopped watching it. Like, I watch a couple of shows every season here and there, and basically I would just run the show in the background while I was doing something else. And if you saw recently my video on Stargate SG-1, which the first 2 seasons I really thought was the worst sci-fi show on television, Andromeda is pretty close to it. These two shows just did not do it for me, but I'm interested in knowing what you think. Did this show captivate you? Did it draw you in? Did you stay in for the entire journey? Or were you, like me, disappointed in the overall quality of the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But that is just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments down below. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. If you didn't like it, thank you so much for listening this long. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until then, check these out.